Be'ezras Hashem Yisbarach. Yoim Sheni L'Parshas Haazinu Yoim Chav Zayin Elul. Shnas Tovshin Ayin Zayin Yeshiva Tiferes Avigdor. Avi. Another few days, we're going to be facing the Mishpat. Somebody just gave me a report of a neighbor of his from Eretz Yisroel, a father of 11 children, and they were at the Kinneret, and his daughter began to flounder in the water. So the father ran to help the child, and the child was saved. But the father drowned. The father left the world. Umi b'mayim. Not sure why they picked this week for a vacation, but Ma'aseh Dahava, that's Kach Hava Ma'aseh. Person has to know that though a young boy just now crossed Lakewood, thought he can get across the street, beat the car, and there was a guy driving a car, and the guy hit him. Baruch Hashem, it looks like he's all right. You know what that means to get hit on Erev Rosh Hashana? It means Hashem letting him know, this young man, better shape up. He gave you that's a very strong warning. Very strong warning. Don't say Hashem didn't warn you. And a person has to know Chaim, know you're very fast. But you have to know that if Hashem marks you, it's not going to be good. So you have to beseech Hashem for another day of life, and you have to not take it for granted. That's what the Mishpat means. Just spoke to a mother today who lost a 5-year-old child. Hashem took her back. Very special mother. He's a big seriousness. Now, you have to remember that there are many people who deep down don't care about Yom Adin. They have a policy, it's called Shalom Yili. I'm not really concerned about it. I'm sure I'm going to make it. I made it last year. It's not going to happen. There's no cancer patient, or no car accident victim, or no person got burnt in a fire who thinks that they are going to experience these experiences. Chatzkel said that someone who doesn't doesn't bother him, the Yom Adin, besides for the fact that he won't be a shav, or he won't be going through the Yom Hadin with a proper perspective, because he won't prepare himself for the Yom Hadin. This in itself, that he doesn't care about the Yom Hadin, could chas v'sholem bring upon himself the full fury, the full kitruk chas v'sholem. Because a person who doesn't prepare himself, he is viewed from Hashem's perspective as someone who's mizalzel and is mevaza the din. In order for a person to be considered someone who's mevaza the din, you don't have to be mevaza it with your mouth. It's enough that in your mind you behave like tzigonish. The Chayos Haldavas in Sharat Tshuva says someone who is a masmid, he does evil diligently, shows he's mevazir dvar Hashem, and that he's mekel b'mitzvaysav, and his lois haseis, and he's preparing himself for an einish. He said regarding him it is said, v'hanefesh asher taseh biyad rama, the one that will do averis with an outstretched hand, v'nichrasa hanefesh ahi mikerev ki dvar Hashem bas. Person has to know he has to come to Rosh Hashana prepared. In the pasuk in this week's parasha it says, Hala Hashem tigmelu zois. Rashi explains that the way to understand the word Hala Hashem El Chaim is as a question mark, as if to ask, do you think this is how you're going to pay back Hashem? V'chilefonav atem ma'atzivim. Are you angering Hashem with your behavior? Are you not taking into account sheyesh biyadoi lipara mikem, that Hashem has the ability to take retribution from you? V'shehetiv lachem b'chol ha'toivos, and that Hashem was mated with you with all the toivos. Am novel, pasuk says, they make themselves as if they forget all the toiv that Hashem had did with them. The loy chacham, and they don't understand the future, that Hashem has control over your future. Lehetiv ulahara. So the Torah tells us two things here. Number one, that a person has to think of all the tevos that Hashem did with him, and second of all, that a person has to think about what Hashem could do to him or will do to him if he doesn't behave. Now, we have to understand, how serious is it for us? What is the din that we are facing on Rosh Hashana? How serious is it? So Rabbi Yisroel Salanter writes, Ha'adam u'bnei beisai a person and his family hatluyim alav, or dependent on him, bisakana gedola, are in a great danger, le'es din hagadol, because a person is being remembered and he's being judged on all his mice. Now, what do you think the percentages are for us to come out with a good mishpat? What would you say, Daniel? What do you think the percentage is that a person should come out with a good judgment? 1 to 100. Give me a number. Just guess. 50-50. What do you say, Al-Khan? What percentage, chance do you think people generally have to make it through the din of Rosh Hashanah? 40% chance. What do you say, Moshe? What? 0%, Moshe says. Pretty extreme, right? What do you say, Shabarach? Of course. But if Yisroel Salanta says that we are aimed in the din, you're facing Sakana Gedola, so the shaila is, what's the percentage I could expect when I face the Sakana? The answer is nothing. Mi yitztak ki lo yitztak lefanecha kol chai. There's no living person who can stand before Hashem and make it in the din. But how are we saved? Know what the answer is? What's the answer, Moshe? No. Know what the answer is? If I ask you a question, let's say, let's see a guy gets smacked head on by a car. Car barreling down the road, sends the guy flying. The guy leaps, gets thrown into the air, gets thrown 25 feet, lands on the sidewalk. What's your first thought? God, that guy didn't make it. Then you found out he made it. He's actually walking around. A week later, what do you say, Al-Khan? What's the first words that comes to your mouth?
I'd be amazed. Wow, astonished.
How would you describe? What do you say, Azarian? A what?
Miracle.
That was a miracle. That's what you say. That was a miracle. Know what Chazal tell us? It's a miracle. Chazal tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is done Klal Yisroel, and where is there a nation like Klal Yisroel who knows it's Hashem? They know His customs, they know His judgments, and you'd think the people would come to Rosh Hashanah overwhelmed, wearing sackcloth, not wearing yontif clothes. They wouldn't think about eating, about drinking. Klal Yisrael is the opposite. V'oichlin, shmeis v'shaisin. They cut their beards to take haircuts. They cut their nails. V'oichlin v'shaisin smeichim Rosh Hashanah. You know why? Lefi sheyoidim she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu yaseh lehem nes. Hashem's going to make a miracle. So this is a lashon you find in Chazal in many different places. Yasulam nisim. You have to know that we have a general rule. Know what that rule is? Ein soimchen al hanes. You can't rely on a nes. But what we're facing is an absolute nes. I've asked this to many people. Have you experienced any miracles in your life? They tell me, I've been a very unlucky guy. I don't win any lotteries. As a kid, I was never the guy who won anything in auctions. I never won anything in drawings by the Pirchei. I never got the bike. I never got the set of Mishnayos. I'm not a lucky guy. I would say, okay, those are hidden miracles. No open miracles, huh? Shalom Yudah, did you know you're an open miracle man? You're walking around with a smile on your face. You experienced facing a death sentence. You had no chance to make it. And you came out on the other side like the smile. That's a nes. That's an absolute miracle. That's what it is. But a person has to know that on Rosh Hashana, this is the matzah you're facing. So if you think that there's a midas harachamim, and you don't think it's a nes, you say, listen, I said enough rabbis. I pushed myself to come to davening sometime. I learned a few words. I've had many people tell me, maybe Hashem's going to pay me up in this world for my schusim. So I have what to rely on. Don't worry about Al-Mahabba. I'll worry about Al-Mahabba when I get older. Then I'll worry about Al-Mahabba. Right now, I think I got something. You got enough, my friend. That's what a person has to know. And when a person knows that, you know what that does? That humbles him. And it gets a person to thinking, what are my chances? And the answer is you got no chances, but you have no choice either. So when you have no chances, the only choice you have is to plead. There have been cases in history where mass murderers, serial killers, who've taken the lives of many of people, came to court, they had no chance. But they try to throw themselves at the mercy of the court. Maybe their lawyers even try to get some kind of clemency from the governor, maybe from the president. That's only hope. But you throw yourself at the feet of the Rebbeinu Shalom, and you say, Hineni, Hashem, I'm here. I know I don't deserve. And you think, a lot of people don't think about their averos. They just say, I must have thousands. I must just have tens of thousands. But ask a guy, can you tell me the averos you do? Give Yisroel a piece of paper. Say, write down the averos, what you do. He's going to say, just give me a one-line piece of paper. Yeah? Try. I'm not even sure you know so many averos. But a person has to sit and think. And then Rosh Hashana. But the avodah, the outlook of these days has to be the following. Hashem does not demand from us anything more than you're able to do. Hashem doesn't want from you to do l'mayla from your kaiches. But Hashem says that what you're able to do is an absolute chiyuv. And if a person does what's within his ability to do, so then he starts to do something, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives him assistance. See, what people do is they get this overwhelmed. How many affairs? Thousands, tens of thousands, millions of affairs. Where do I start? I don't have where to start from. I don't know where to end from. That's what a person does. A person has to know that you have to start. And if you start, there will be gains. Now the question is, how does a person make gains? How do you make gains? Well, the answer is, you first look at areas in your life where you know you should do better. You want to do better. But for some reason, you don't. There are some areas where you don't do better. Here's a fellow that doesn't go to davening. His wife asks him, how can we go to davening? It's Elul. What do you think he answers? So what would you answer if your wife asked you that question? Huh? You don't know what you would answer? I know what you would say. You'd say, Chatasi. Know what he said to his wife? There's no halach you have to go to shul and daven. You know what he says every Hashana? His wife said, what are you talking about? I said, if you're going to convince me that she didn't go to shul and daven? He said, but we live right next door to a shul. There's no thing to go to a shul. It's a made-up thing. So she says to him, do you want your children to go to shul? Children should go to shul. So the mother says to me, the children want to know, how come Tati doesn't go to shul? I said, tell them they're not supposed to judge their fathers. They have to go to shul. That's what Yiddish Kindlech do, and most Tatis do. Why your Tati not? It's not your business. It's not your geschäft. That's what a person has to know. So you have to take, for that fellow to go to work on shul, would be an uphill battle. He doesn't have any conviction. He has no commitment to go to shul. If a person has no conviction about something, he can't work on it. You can't force yourself. A guy that talks Lashon Hara and thinks that everybody does it, and it's not shayach for me to overcome that, and I don't have any conviction or any commitment to understand why I should want to stop this. They're talking to the walls. Imagine going to a modern guy and trying to convince him to wear a black hat by davening. You know what it's like talk? It's like, hello? I don't think you have to wear socks by davening. I don't think you have to wear full pants by davening. I think it's fine if you come in a t-shirt or undershirt and daven. I should wear a black hat. It's like talking to the wall. A from guy's the same way. If you don't have a conviction and you don't have an understanding of why something has to be done, I saw Chaim Kanievsky writes, Peldigzah, writes, if a person doesn't have a hat and jacket, he should not daven b'tzibur. He says it's better to daven not b'tzibur than daven without a hat and jacket. You know what he says? Now most people look at what is this? I remember I read it over again. I went through my computer to see if Chaim told it to anybody else. He did. His brother-in-law said it over. One of Chaim's things, he knows what he's talking about. I would tell the guy, of course, I'm see what I'm the hat. You know, it's a big deal. If you have a gun, it's good enough. You can have a jacket. You have a jacket. No, a mela. Chaim said not like that. He's a place Qatar. He didn't know what he's saying. So if a guy would try to start that, it's going to be hard for the guy because the guy has no commitment to it. It's not such a hard thing, so maybe a guy could do it. Just remember to carry the jacket in his car and the hat in his car. But you have to start with something you have a conviction. Let's say a person is shvach on Shabbos. You tell him that Shabbos is nit and lasik b'tayr. Looks at you like you're crazy. Shabbos of sleeping, everybody knows that. Gant Klal Yisrael knows that. Nimnu v'gamru, it's decided, it's been already clear in all Christians, Sfardim, Ashkenazim, Hasidim, Litvaks, all Hasidim, everybody knows. Shabbos is for puffy. Huff and puff the Shabbos oil. That's it, Go tell a guy to change. Can't change. I remember when I tried to change on Shabbos. Very hard. What I had to do is, I had to learn for a very long time, consistently, about the Kedusha of Shabbos. I had to learn about the importance of learning the Shabbos. I tried with all kind of Tiferes to try to dray out of the learning of Shabbos. Not that I didn't learn on Shabbos, but not with bread. Till I came to the understanding and the conviction. This is what Hashem wants me to do. And you start, take steps. But go tell that to a regular fellow. He's not ready to be Shemesh Shabbos yet. He's not ready to fulfill the spirit of Shabbos. Right? It's very difficult. I force you to come on Shabbos. Mamish is like, Bal Karchach, the guy putting a gun to his head and telling him to do a mitzvah that they never heard of the mitzvah. Not Shabbos. So the way to start doing tshuva is, and there are people who don't bench. There are many people who don't bench. You'd be shocked. They don't bench. There are people who miss tefillas also. They missed mincha. They miss ma'ariv. They miss. They don't understand it. So you first have to learn about the chiyuv, understand how important it is, that it's some of the benching is a mitzvah daraisa. So I put it on tefillin. Can't miss. At the point that people lost their sensitivity for tefillin. Got to push. And then you say, now I'm going to start doing it. Then you stand a chance to change. Otherwise you can't change. You have to understand, Hashem wants to see from you a hope, a tikva. Hashem wants to know. Hashem says, don't sing to me the song of Yesh Tikva. Hashem says, you answer me, that's my question, Hashem says. Yesh Tikva lecha? Is there any hope for you? Is there hope that you're going to become a better person the next year? Or not? If not, what should Hashem waste his time with you? What excuse does Hashem have to keep you around? To put you out of commission, to put you in a hospital, you were in a hospital. That's what a person has to realize. And every one of us is facing this. You shouldn't take it for granted. That's why every day I had sorrows. I think HaKadosh Baruch Hu, thank you. One more thing you made me aware of. One more thing you make me aware of. You think a person has one sorrow, can't get a second sorrow. No, you can get a lot of sorrows in 1 year. Klal Yisroel is seimach on a nes. That's what we're relying. You have to know how you seimach on a nes. But if a person doesn't think it's a nes, then he can't be seimach. He has nothing what to rely on. To every one of you should undertake areas in your life that you have a conviction, you have a commitment, and you have an understanding that it's the right thing to do. And a person should say, I'm going to make changes in that area. Sometimes Baruch want to learn about Bittul Torah, so they get a Sefer Binyan Olam, they get some Sfarim about Limud HaTorah, and they now understand the Chashivas for the Zach. But if you don't learn about it, when you want to learn how to drive, that you have a Chashivas for. Then you're going to Moshe Nefesh to get that driving book. You want to know how to work your computer, you're going to buy a book and you're going to sit in the HaRav on how to use that computer. Or how to use that phone. But a person has to know, if you want to become a Frum Yid, you want to become an Eilach Yid, you got to learn the basics. You can't pick up Yiddishkeit from the ear. There are people that are doing things that are very detrimental. You know, some people don't even wash negelas. Remember, there was a family that there's a number of problems over there. My daughter was friendly with one of the daughters from that family. And the teacher one day asked, is there anybody who doesn't wash negelas? So this girl raised it, I don't wash negelas. Why not? You know what negelas is? Negelas, it's such a determination of a person's tum of a tahara. If a person doesn't wash negelas and he has yadayim tmeis, what it causes the guy is to have a decent, he becomes totally desensitized toward mitzvahs. Mitzvahs mean nothing to him. It has no starket. There was once a guy who wanted to go off the derech, but he was feeling guilty. So somebody gave him an eitzah. Nobody told him? Wash negel wasser and drink the water. You'll have no problem. Techav. The guy did it. All his guilt, Jewish guilt, was gone. Drink the negel wasser water. It helps you. It gives you a timus halev. Timtum halev it gives you. You become cold. You become ice to Yiddishkeit. Nothing bothers you. When you come to the din, what are you doing there? You look around the shul, up and down, sideways, backwards, forwards. What should I do? You got to make a plan for Rosh Hashanah. How are you going to spend your day? What are your thoughts going to be? If you're going to be at Yisroel, you have to make a plan. I'm going to sit there for 1 to 5 minutes. So, maybe bring a coloring book. I mean, I can't go on Yantif. Bring a storybook. Maybe somebody can bring a storybook. Maybe you have to make a plan what to do, really. What are you going to think about Rosh Hashanah? How are you going to preoccupy your mind at Rosh Hashanah? How are you going to stay in the zone on Rosh Hashanah? Every one of you should think about making a tainus dibur at least till your meals. From the time you wake up in the morning till you go to your sudas. A tainus dibur. That would help you. At least you won't do big averas during the davening, at least. A person does that, he's prepared. But everybody should decide what inyan and what areas he has a feeling for and a conviction for, and it's going to do something about it. Hashem should help us all be able to be zeichet to tshuva. It may be the areas of chesed that you have a conviction for. Some averas that you did that you know are wrong, and you really would like to change, but you don't embark on any process of change. If you don't embark on a process of change, what can you expect? Gabriel?